Hey there. Today's framework is one of my favorites, probably because it's the foundation of everything. It's my personal integrity framework that embraces the 4 distinct principles of resonance. Now, back in 2004, when I first started working with this model, resonance was not a word that you heard. It wasn't used very often in life or business, but today things are a little different. You will hear the word, and you might even use it yourself. But what does it mean? And what has it got to do with you? Why is it even important? And why is it a critical factor in your relationships, in your leadership, and in your business? So let's find out. Okay, you can see this on the screen now. The first distinction I want to point out is the difference between internal and external resonance. You can see it differentiated here by the black and the white at the top and the bottom. Now, internal resonance is your interior landscape, which is just another way of saying what's going on inside of you. Now, most people think of this in terms of mindset, but that's only part of the story, which we're going to look at in a moment. External resonance is what's going on around you in life, your environment, your relationships to other people and things, and how you relate to the external world. And you can probably see straight away, this isn't something we're taught in schools. It's not something we usually talk about, yet it's so critical to our lives. It's central to our success and our happiness, because what we're talking about here is your beingness. How you're showing up to life, because that, in and of itself, matters. So I just want you to understand the distinction between internal and external resonance. Okay, so let's begin at the top, the white space with internal resonance, and step 1, which is awareness, becoming aware of yourself at an energetic level. And before we dig in, just ask yourself, what is it that you're aware of right now? Maybe you're aware of the sound of my voice. Maybe you can see the screen and also the room or environment you're currently in. Maybe you can hear cars outside your window or feel tiredness in your body. Maybe you're thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner tonight. The list goes on. And the truth is, most of us live our lives in an unaware state. So just by raising your level of awareness, it can make a huge difference in your life. Now, becoming aware of yourself at an energetic level truly expands your awareness, because when we look at personal integrity from an energetic level, we realize there is more going on for each of us. There is our physical energy, our body, our sensations, and what it feels like to inhabit our physical body. We might feel tension or pain, or we might feel good and in flow. We also have our emotional energy, which is closely linked to our physical sensations too. It's how we feel about ourselves, about other people, things, and circumstances in our life. We can feel positive or negative, or a combination of both, with many shades of grey in between. Then there's our mindset, our cognitive or intellectual energy, what we think about ourselves and the world around us. You've probably heard the fact that your mind can imprison you, or it can set you free, which goes to show how powerful our mind is and how our inner voices shape our lives. So where do we place our attention internally? Do we listen to the critical voices that tell us we're not good enough, that we can't do something so we don't even try? Or do we listen to the voice of our soul that knows we can, that trusts our capabilities and knows we can handle whatever life throws our way? You can see why the it gets such attention, because it's a powerful energy that shapes us and our beingness in the world. And finally, there's our spiritual energy and our deeper reasons for being alive, our why, if you like. This might be about religion for you, your relationship with God, with the divine, and it might not. And this is your connection to something bigger than yourself. You might think of it as spirituality or a deeper transformational purpose or a destiny or a legacy. And whether you have this alive in your life today or not, its presence or absence also shapes your life in many unseen ways. So this first step of awareness is really about getting intentional about what you are aware of internally and what will support you in the direction you want to go in life. So take a moment now and think about how you can expand your awareness. Now, next is step 2, an alignment. And have you noticed how this is becoming a very popular word right now? I hear my corporate clients and executives using it to describe how aligned their teams are to organizational objectives or to the customer. But what they don't often realize is that alignment begins inside. And I think the easiest way of describing it is simply this. Are you living authentically? Are you living into what matters most to you? Or as they would say in many spiritual traditions, are you on your path, your Dharma, your Tao? And this is internal, meaning are you embodying what you know? And an easy way to think about this is kind of like head, heart, and soul. Now, I'm sure you can think about someone right now in your life who is living out of alignment, meaning they say one thing and do another. Well, we all know when we encounter this because we all read energy. It's actually more important than the words we say. Our energy speaks louder than words. So before moving into action, we can pause and consider if what we're thinking aligns with what we're feeling in our hearts, and also at a deeper level, what our soul really yearns for, what it wants. So there's a simple exercise I do with my coaching clients when making decisions. I just ask them to rate their commitment level out of 10 from their heads, then from their hearts, and then from their soul or gut level. And it becomes immediately apparent where they are out of alignment, and then we can work to bring those numbers together. So check in with yourself and see how you can be more aligned and more authentic too. Because we all waste a great deal of energy doing things that are out of alignment for us. It's like square peg round hole, when we really long for resonance and allowing ourselves to flow. Okay, so once our internal being is aware and aligned, we're ready for the external world and becoming intentional about our relationship with it, which begins with attunement on our ability to live attuned to our external environment. This means we are aware of our impact, and instead of showing up as ourselves and kind of completely ignoring the environment or the people in it and just doing our own thing regardless, we are looking to attune externally. We meet people where they are, we are aware of our impact, and we adapt to different people and environments so that we can build strong connections and powerful, resonant relationships. So there's a primal instinct at play here in our neurobiology. We're conditioned to attune from our earliest childhood years, particularly for women. And I know for myself, people pleasing is something I learned to do at a very young age. And you could say obviously worked really well for me because I keep on catching myself doing it to this day. Now, not that there's anything wrong with this adaptive behavior, but in resonance terms, I don't want to lose myself in the relationship, because although that might resonate for the other person, it wouldn't resonate for me in the long term especially. So that's where this is so powerful, because attunement refers to adapting externally whilst also staying true to yourself. And yes, I know, easy to say, more challenging to put into practice, but when you get this, everything changes. Which brings us to our final step of integration and showing up present, agile, and responsive in our energy. You see, we can know this framework in our head, but are we living into it? Which is why integration is the final step. Can we bring together our internal and external worlds and integrate them in our state of being? Can we honor both? Can we integrate our different levels of energy, our physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual energies? Can we practice until it becomes a new habit, a new way of being for us in our world? Because that's when we show up with personal integrity, when we are aware, aligned, attuned, and fully integrated and living into what matters most to us. So I can argue this framework is important for all of us, for any human on the planet, and that would be true. But it's especially important if you're in any kind of leadership role that might be professionally, but also in life, maybe as a parent, because this is how you show others how to be in the world. It's the root of caring and compassion. It's the foundation of everything, because it's all about you and how you show up to life, to family, to work, to business. It's kind of how you show up everywhere. And I think it was Jon Kabat-Zinn who said, "Everywhere you go, there you are." And if you're a coach, consultant, or change maker, you will know that how you show up matters. You have an impact. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're still having an impact. So why not get intentional about that impact, about how you're showing up to your life, and why not show up in full integrity? Now here's a quote from the Zen tradition that summarizes the message here for you. The master is the one who realizes the only way to influence the future is to become the right person in the present moment. Okay, that's all from me. If you have any comments or questions, I would love to hear them. You can comment below or send a message to hello@coachesbusinessschool.com. And you can download a copy of the framework by following the link in the comments. Until next time, lots of love.